Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Anil Joshi. Welcome you to my series Iconology and Temple Architecture Perspectives. In this lecture, we see a specialization and logic behind a architectural beauty or iconographical beauty of any monuments. Today we are going to go to Hampi and a simple structure like a stone tank called Pushkarni, how it can be special and how is that I am saying even today its creation is going to be a hectic challenge. Now let's go and find out why it is special, why it is difficult even today to construct, build, and what is the architectural challenge and designing challenge in this. Hello and welcome. We are meeting again in Hampi. Hampi is very important, not only from those who follow religion but also for those who follow history and for also those who want to know why India was called as the most prosperous country in the world, why Vijayanagar was called as the richest town, richer than Rome at its time, that is in 15th century. So for that it has to meet certain criteria. It has to have a biggest trading center. It was the biggest trading center in Asia as far as horses, diamonds, gold, silver are concerned. Not only that, it was also a biggest market for the weapons, then also for those who want to sell their horses, then camels, believe it, camel I said, even camels were sold here, and the city was so prosperous that it had a supermarket of diamonds, silver and gold separately, horse market separately, so also a market of pan supari, that was also a separate big market having stalls, hundreds of stalls were there. Now all these things were attracting many foreign visitors. Is it that the only place for trading? No, it was also a historical place. A lot of events mentioned in Puranas and Ramayanas have occurred here. This was a Kishkinda in Puranas, in Ramayana. It was a birthplace of Lord Hanumana. It was a kingdom of Vali and Sugriva's, and Prabhu Ramachandra has stayed here while going to Sri Lanka for a couple of days. He has worshipped here Shiva, whose temple is still there, and also there are many other architectural, iconological, temple designing point of view, like a Vithala temple which has got a musical pillar. Here there are plates which can sing. After Vithala temple you can also see big Gopuram that was there in the Hampi. Big Gopuram singing pillars of Vithala and also royal enclosures. Now royal enclosures means it was a king's palace and a place for activity at that time. You can see ruins, but that can give you how much gorgeous it would have been. We have heard of stories of Tenali Ram and Krishna Dev Raya, which has occurred here. Now here there are big elephant stables, which means that they have large number of elephants with them. They were having processions of horses, elephants there in front of stable. Then they have a large zanana, which was including a lotus palace. Then also there is queen's bath, summer palaces. Their queens were staying absolutely in comfort. And what kings were doing? Every day morning they were going for a war exercises. That was in front of elephant stable, where they had teachers right from Mongolia. So they are learning all arts of war here. And you can also see certain Pushkarnis, that is wells, the designing of which is at such a geometry and with such a preciseness that you will be just stunned looking at it. And believe it, it was constructed in a very short time. Go anywhere in the town, you will find a Gopuram of Virupaksha temple. Go anywhere in town, you will see hills of the Matunga hills, then Hanuman birthplace, that is Anjanadri hills. So also many temples, many supermarkets. So do visit Hampi after a brief idea. Main aim of our series is to give you a brief idea about multiple monuments. However, that is not possible to cover in one lecture. Therefore, we have got multiple lectures. Stay tuned to us, see our multiple videos, subscribe to us and enjoy the wealth of knowledge and know why India was the most powerful, why Vijayanagara Samrajya was most powerful, why it was the largest supermarket, why it was attracting tourists all throughout, and what was the technological advances. Let's get going to each topic. Now, today's topic is about the architectural speciality of the Pushkarni, that is the well, river. So, start from the historical aspect. This is the wonderful Pushkarni of Hampi, which was conceived and constructed in just 2 weeks. Can you believe it? You will not believe unless you see it. Otherwise, it is difficult to imagine how much difficult task it was. It was built in 15th century during the Vijayanagara age. This 5-level, highly symmetrical grey stone step well was used by pilgrims during the Mahanavami procession. So, when the Mahanavami was approaching, the king thought we should have a nice place for celebration. He expressed his thought, and what happened? Let's see. That is very interesting to see. The Pushkarni was built by an engineer named Ranganna. The Mahalakshmi festival was due on 2nd, and old Pushkarni near Virupakshi temple was no longer serviceable for the devotees. So king was obviously worried. Vijayanagara king sought to find someone who could accomplish this task and accept the challenge and complete it. Ranganna was up for the task. According to contemporary descriptions, there was a huge image of Lord Rama facing this Pushkarni until 1565, which is not there now. This image was broken down when Vijayanagara was sacked in 1565 after the Battle of Talikota. It is a step tank. This geometrically symmetrical, geometrically fascinating, geometrically wonder tank is located in the royal enclosure. The Pushkarni were symmetrical, either square or joint double squares. In the center of these, some water tank was shrined with a statue. So, a big water reservoir, symmetrical designing, a art of its glory, speciality, constructed in a record time with a statue of God in the center. You just imagine how much people should have been happy on Mahanavratri festival. These were public utilities, while bathing facilities and ghat facilities exist on the banks of Tungabhadra river with several mandapas and shrines. We can still see remnants of them when we will go to the ghat. The water tank had steps to walk down and fetch water at Royal Enclosure, Hampi. It is seen there. Once you go in a Royal Enclosure, all these things are there, not only the well but also many additional things. In Hampi, being few tanks are similar to this, but they are ruined, and this is the only best maintained, a best retained and best seen tank, because it was full of mud and nobody could recognize it till recent. However, they are of great architectural attraction in its own rights. The archaeology department has restored this ruined pond to some extent, I can say to much extent, because we can get all glories. Let's see the pictures and draw our own conclusion. The remains of colonnades once stood around the massive rectangular tank. So there are remnants of it by which you can make out this was there, and there was also a large pavilion. Since there are no water in the tank, the details of the base and the gallery like steps around the tank can be observed. Look at this. Now there is a very surprising fact how it was discovered. It was totally covered with sand and mud. Nobody could know it whether it is there. Have a look at photograph in museum, that is at Kamalapur Museum, Hampi Museum. You will get there was nothing here, just all mud and some broken buildings, some ruined buildings. They found a track may be useful for water draining towards a certain structure, and when they start digging, they start finding this marvelous art. So it was found out only because of the draining water You cannot call it as a pipe, you cannot call it as canal, because it was carved, it was chiseled in a big stone, and water was allowed to flow inside, which was coming all the way from Kamlapur, that is 4 kilometers water was coming, and it was poured in this tank. You can see this, see this is the remnant where you can see the this is the stone. Actually I'll show you in better ways subsequently, by which water was carried and it was poured inside the tank. Right now, see, this is the stone structure which was carrying the water right from Kamlapur. Here 4 kilometers water was carried by this, and it was poured in this tank. Look how much glorious it would have been looked, that there was a big shrine, then there are beautiful deities, big water reservoir, people are gathering for the festival. If you can see this symmetry, I think it's so wonderful, just a wonder of architecture, how they must have designed it. Whether they started from up and went down, or they started from down they came up, is just miraculous, and I cannot imagine it without a computer, how they have designed it, how they have executed it, and that also in a record time. Don't forget that, in a record time they have done it. Marvelous, hats off to them. And see the finery, though this was used to carry water, how much with trouble they have taken to make it looks beautiful. It's a beautiful place, beautiful greenery, good shades of plant, people can have food there. But what I wondered was, in a way, the premises is kept. Thanks to the people, hats off to the archaeology department and also ASI department. Hampi is now recognized by UNESCO, but maintenance our own people are doing. Hats off to them. By looking at it, you say our engineers of older generation were more genius. They are really genius. They did not have anything like computers with them, but the symmetry, designing is a wonder of architecture they have produced. Very few such things are there today, and it is one of it. So you should be lucky to have a look at it. Let's conclude the lecture. If you like the lecture, give us a like. If you feel you should see more lecture like this, then subscribe us. Thanks for giving me your valuable time. See you again. We'll meet again in next video, about which I'm very sure. If you know some more information, give me. If I given you more information, okay, it's my duty. Goodbye.